Good Monday morning, everybody. This is Grace, and today I want to talk about why I see narcissistic people with narcissistic type behaviors as the train wrecks waiting to happen. Yes, my dog heard me, so he's going to make noise. But anyway, about 2 months ago, back in June, I made a video about some narcissistic type people with those behaviors. They were basically what some would say they're getting their due. Now, I don't, it's like the bad karma coming up to them, catching up with them. Now, I don't believe in karma as a mystical, magical thing, and I don't wish bad on anybody. And seeing it, and I mentioned in that other video that seeing it was not a good thing, and for me, and I'm that type of person. I don't make any apologies for it. I don't want to see them see what they did to others to come back to them, but it does, I don't wish that kind of evil on somebody, but it does tend to happen in my world. And remember, this is just my opinion, my experiences, and how I see them. I'm not a healthcare professional provider and all that. See the disclaimer. So I'm going to come back and talk about why I see this. Okay, but first I want to add in here that basically, since before then and since then, I've seen people who are the types that similar type, other than those four, that it's happening to them also before and since then. But they are the same type, and what I think the better way to say it is these are people who are like rising stars, okay, and they're the kind of rising star that believes that it doesn't matter who they step on, who they hurt, as long as they get what they're wanting, and what they're wanting is that popularity, and to be the, you can see it at work, you can see it at home, even you can see it online, your natural world, your virtual world, whatever. You can see this, and they don't care. They are very competitive against other people, not just I see it as you should be competitive with yourself. They see it as stepping over everybody else. And they usually don't really have the talent that would be needed, but they do it by stepping on people, by using people, by along this line. Okay, so you have these people who are the rising, they're wanting so much to be the rising stars, and they are by using other people, being highly competitive. But you also have other people, and these are the people who don't really have the talent, the knowledge, the whatever is needed to be whatever it is they want to be. Now, you also have people who are very similar to them, but they don't have as much drive to be to be the rising star. They want to be attached to the rising star, and those some would call the flying monkeys, and they will totally protect this rising star because they are attached to it. They're attached to this rising star. They're going to be the protectors, the shield, and say if somebody comes against the rising star, they're the ones that will just, pounce on that person. They're going to protect that rising star because they also do not have the talent, the knowledge, the whatever they need. But they get a feeling of, a sense of superiority by being like the person who is the rising star has a sense of superiority. Okay. Now, what to the rising star himself or herself, what person they are wanting to make as their target is someone who is, the target, the victim, somebody who has basically, okay, now these are generalizations, and as I said before, just my opinions and from my experiences and everything. Now, how could the victim be someone who has won? Well, the target, the victim, a lot of people want to say this is they put it on a very negative light, but this is a person who has probably seen narcissistic type behaviors in other people, and they may have been the target before. And I'm talking about people who passed childhood, and have this happen to them again. But what they have won is that they have actually survived it. They have survived it and come out of it not being narcissistic themselves. This is how I see it. Okay, not and one size does not fit all. Not everybody's like this, but when they have come out of it and they've survived it, they still may have a a strong sense of self, but it's time for an adjustment because they have been hurt by the narcissistic type person, but they have survived it. Like I said, they survived it without becoming what they hate. Okay, and that's very important. Or becoming a flying monkey, or the narcissistic type person themselves. They still have that period of recovery and adjustment and everything. But the narcissistic type person did not win, did not come out of it healthy. And instead, they came out of it, and their jealousy of the person who did, or the people who did, is so strong because they're saying this person survived it and is becoming something, or becoming something they cannot. They have not survived it. They did not win, and that winning is so important to this type of person. Now, when this rising star sees that in somebody else, that the narcissistic type rising star, they see that somebody else, their target, becomes their target because of a challenge. The challenge, the competitive nature, the challenge is to basically try to make that person their mini-me, they're like them. They want them like them. They don't want somebody in their world that has actually survived this and is moving on or has moved on. They don't want that because to them, my personal opinion is internal is that they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So they don't want anybody else to be able to do it. So that person, the target, is their challenge. If they can break them down, they've won something. They've somehow won something. But it's not, of course, the thing they should be winning is to overcome. We say should. They might not. But it's to overcome their past and move on and develop and become healthy. Okay. And we all, probably know about how the person who is not the flying monkey, the person who has survived, who has won, gets attracted to the brightness of the rising star. Okay, we know how they manipulate. The rising star manipulates and draws them in. But we also know that they tend to, we hope, they tend to see it for what it is, and they detach themselves, and they go on, they move on. Now that rising star can do the opposite. We know that too. Detach from them once they feel they've won, that kind of thing. But or they can no longer do whatever they're going to do. One size does not fit all. But anyway, what about the flying monkeys? Now the flying monkeys might be picking up. All people pick up a little bit of bad behavior that is attached somehow. But the flying monkey is learning. That's my dog. He's grumbling at me. But they pick up, they're picking up things because they want to become like that. Some of them, not all of them, but some do. And those are the ones that later on do what? Okay, I'm getting distracted by that dog. He's walked off now. But the flying monkeys who have been learning from the rising star, they branch off and go on their own, and they become the same kind of person, with narcissistic type behaviors. And some of them then find, another flying, rising star, and they attack. Okay, that person, they attack that person. They want to win. That this is very competitive, and they want to knock that one out of the sky so they can rise even higher, kind of thing. Now, what about the people who, are rising stars, but they're not narcissistic? They're not the ones to step on people. They're not the ones to, they have to have all these people rallying around them and along that line. Okay. Now, before I go on, I should say that that's why I see that the rising stars that are very competitive, very narcissistic type behavior people, they are basically creating their own monsters, or they're creating monsters for somebody else. And it's a train wreck waiting to happen because either their own attack or their, they attack, somebody else's attacks them. Somehow it works that way in my mind. That's how I see it. And I've seen it consistently. Some other one will come and attack that person. And I've seen it just yesterday, in fact, with somebody. So, but what about the people who are really good-hearted. They are not out to use other people to gain popularity. They just gain popularity because they have a good thing. Now, the other ones, they gain it because, all the manipulation. People want to be like them. People see it as, oh, this is something good, wonderful. I want to be like this rising star. But the other ones who are good, if you really think about it, how many people prefer to see something evil than they want to see something good? They want to see that train wreck. That's the sad thing, I think. Now, about the good people, there's so few, and just so few of them, that it's difficult to say what happened. What is the difference? Okay, I think this video is getting too long, and that's a topic for a different video anyway, because it'll be long too. But basically, I see it as these are people who have transcended, and it's very, very rare. And I also see them as that they will have tormentors, and they will, people who will come up against them, especially the rising stars that have really risen. But that's a topic for a whole separate video. Anyway, that's enough for this on Monday morning. Yeah, I'm still not quite awake and distracted by the dog. The other one, he's in his room. He's in his room. He's in his element, so he's quiet. But anyway, everybody have a good week, and I'll come back another day, hopefully, eventually. Talk to y'all later. Bye.